gentlemen, welcome to 101 with me, Posh D, and I'm here with the gorgeous Ernest Napoleon.
Oh, thank you. That took me by surprise. You're the one who's gorgeous, but okay.
Well, welcome to 101.
Thank you.
Welcome to London.
London is wonderful. Thank you.
You like it?
I love it.
Is that your first time coming to London?
No, it's my third time, but I always find, because I stay in a short span of time, like a couple of days, and I leave, so it's always, I always try to go to a new place. It's always a discovery. Like, it's my first time now to be in Greenwich. Yesterday was my first time to be in the other place, so it's a new discovery for me. London is always interesting to come here.
Yeah, London is great. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your background, your childhood, and things like that.
Well, I was actually, ironically, I was born in Russia, but my dad is from Tanzania. So at the age of 4, I went to Tanzania, where I lived throughout my childhood, primary school, secondary school, up to my teenage years.
Your dad is Tanzanian. What about your mom?
My mom is Russian.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, I moved to U.S., where I stayed for 7-8 years in America. And after America, I moved to Sweden, where I've been staying for a couple of years as well.
All right. Did you go to America for your studies?
I went for America for my studies, but it's also was where I learned the craft of filmmaking and writing and acting. So I lived in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is very heavy, and it's a huge filmmaking community there. It's a filmmaking mecca, so that's a great place to learn the craft of filmmaking. Yeah.
So tell us about your career. How did you get into the film industry?
Well, I didn't really. First, I started. My first time acting was when I was a kid, and
Did you act as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
all right. Okay, that's great.
And in the film, I wrote the film. I starred in the film, and I produced the film.
Okay.
Yeah, so acting is my first love, and I also learned how to write, and I had to learn how to produce, because in independent filmmaking, you have to produce your own stuff. So
Definitely.
So that's how I started.
So who and what inspired you to get into writing, directing, and producing?
Well, my first love was with acting, but then I didn't see people like me on TV growing up, so I knew that I had to write my own stuff. And then when I started writing, because I also used to do some music when I was younger, and I used to write all the time, so I just liked writing. And then when I grew up and I was into acting, I combined writing and acting, and also realized that writing and acting, they are so intertwined together that to be a good actor, you actually need to be a decent writer, I think, because you're making the writer's words come to life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned your music. So you did music as well?
That's a long time ago. I don't want to revisit that chapter.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll take it. I used to be into rap music growing up.
Okay.
So yeah, I started rapping and performing in the school projects, and then after school I recorded like an album that was a couple of hit songs and did the video. So I did that briefly, but then when I went back to filmmaking, I had to leave that behind, just because filmmaking in itself, it's a huge world of busy world. So
So you prefer filmmaking to music?
I like music, but listening to it, I think I should stay a listener, a fan.
You just switch completely.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy comedy?
I love comedies. Yeah, I love comedies. I love drama as well. I think even in the serious moments of drama, we have to find comedic aspect for it. Yeah, I think.
So what type of writing do you enjoy writing then? Comedy, drama, like in your movie?
I think I like subtle comedy, so not like slapstick comedies. It's a difference between Friends and The Office. I don't know if you've seen The Office. So I like and drama as well. Like the things that are my style is more real life scenarios and less,
Yeah. So this is 101, and we're here talking to Ernest Napoleon. He's an actor and he produced the movie
Going Bongo.
Going Bongo. So it's the title of the movie. He done a private screening yesterday in London. So we are privileged to be talking to him right now. So Ernest, tell me about the movie.
The film is about an American doctor who mistakenly volunteers to work in Africa for 1 month.
Okay.
And is the guy who's never stepped out of America, so he's very sheltered. And here he is having to go to the world that he knows nothing about. Of course, he goes with his preconceived stereotypes, as we all do when you live in one place for a long time. But then he ends up falling in love with the place, and there's it's a happy story about Africa.
Positive, happy story about Africa.
Right.
But usually we don't see that. And who and what inspired you to get into directing, writing, and producing?
Well, at first, when I was a kid, I got involved in a school play, and that got me into acting. And then when I grew up, there was just not many people who look like me on camera, so I figured I have to write my own stuff. And then later I found out actually that writing and acting, they're actually close together, because actors bring their writing into life. So then I got into writing, actually got very interested. And regarding producing, I make independent films, so you have to produce whether you want it or you don't want it.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to produce. Yeah.
Definitely, you need to produce your own stuff.
Yeah.
Is this a true story?
It's based on a true story. My dentist, he's French, and one day I asked him how did he come to Tanzania. He said, "Oh, I just came on a safari." You know, safari is where you go and see the wildlife.
Yeah.
And I never went back, and now it's been 25 years to Africa and never going back to Tanzania and never going back. So I thought there's a story there. But as you know, somebody going willingly is not drama, so you need to rewrite things in the film format.
Yes, definitely. So you base your story according to that.
I base the story, the genesis. That's the genesis of the story, and then.
So what inspired you to write stories?
I think as human beings, our lives in this world are short, unfortunately, and the only way we could take a peek in other people's life is through movies and stories. And like if you want to know something about people who live in China and their lives out there, people live in Japan, or somebody who's a chess player, and we're basing our human knowledge, our survival, through films, through stories. And I think that's what's so interesting about stories, whether it's writing books or writing films.
Writing a script.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to write this particular movie?
Well, we co-wrote with a friend of mine, Gregory Zymet, a very talented guy, and we were writing for like almost a year. It took almost a year, and of course we continued. As you know, the film is not finished once you finish writing.
That's right. Yeah.
As you're shooting,
and I heard that even the last minute, sometimes people even make
change the lines,
well.
and then the editor.
Yes.
Don't forget the editor. When the editor edits the film, she's acting her own writing as well, because she's rearranging things.
Yes.
Now she's rewriting. So writing never ends.
It never ends, definitely. never ends. So apparently there is some quite funny scenes in the movie. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I wish I was there, but I couldn't make it. Are you a funny person yourself?
I like comedy a lot. I watch stand-up comedy. I watch comedy movies, good comedy movies. So I don't know. Sometimes maybe.
Sometimes.
I would like to think that.
Yeah, you like to think that you're funny.
Yeah. But I can't. I don't. My comedy though is very subtle. It's not, big comedy, but it's small. It's a difference between Friends TV show and The Office. So it's more towards The Office and less too big. Haha.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'd rather get small, subtle laughs. Like a smile than ha 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 ha, than big laughs. So my comedy, I like subtle comedy more. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. So, your movie Going Bongo. Please tell me, what is your favorite scene in that movie?
Oh wow.
As a producer.
As a producer,
that would be a little bit
that's
difficult,
different.
isn't it?
As a producer, it's different. As the producer is looking about money and you know, as a
yeah.
as
But
a
like, if you were now acting in that movie, say
Yeah.
for example, you produced the movie.
yeah, I think I like the birth delivery scene. I think it's very powerful, and most people have seen it. They've had tears, and I think the birth scene is very powerful.
Yeah.
It's one of the strongest scenes in the film.
Is
I
that
think
your
so.
favorite scene?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is because the baby was 1 day old. The baby was like born yesterday. It's a really small, and everybody was really nervous. Like, don't drop the baby. And when you see the film, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's the
okay.
birth scene. Yeah.
Well, I hope I will watch it. So
Yeah.
when will you be releasing the movie over here? In
Planning for end of July, beginning of August. It will also be on iTunes, so people can. But it will be in cinemas here. I would like people to come out and support it because the movie has a lot of heart, and Hollywood doesn't make these kind of movies anymore. So we have to go the independent route. So yeah. For people who like these kind of movies, I think they will enjoy it, and then they will support us to make more of these kind of films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think as Africans, I think it's about time that we
Yeah.
tell our own stories.
That's very important, yeah.
It's very
Because if
important.
other people tell stories about us and they stereotype us, we can't get mad
That's right.
because they don't know anything about us.
That's right. Because we're giving them the power to do so.
The power, and
So,
they're not well researched, and maybe it's not their world, so they're
It's
gonna
true.
present the
Yeah.
world the way they feel. You know, if it's child soldiers everywhere and starving kids,
That's right. Yeah.
we can't blame them for that. Yeah.
No, we can't because it's up to us now to take
Yeah,
take the lead.
charge,
and,
yeah.
and start writing our own stories.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and I think Africa we do have
We do have a lot of stories. A lot of stories that need to be told.
An
Yes.
amazing story to be
Yeah.
told. You
Yeah.
know, so
Powerful stories. Yeah.
yeah. So how would you summarize African cinema?
I think African cinema has a lot of potential. There are great, talented people who work in it. I think the thing that we need to do is to come together more. I think that's what our peers in Hollywood have that we don't have. It's like they have more, they work together, a lot together. I think African cinema has been so much about the individual, and you know, everybody saying, "Oh, this is my movie. I'm gonna act, direct, write, edit."
You
Well,
got
there are
that
people
right.
who can help you, who are much better at that. I think it's very important to collaborate, to have a lot of collaboration.
That's missing though. That's missing
Yeah.
in an African movie. I think that's missing. That's a good point. How would you like to see African cinema develop in the future?
I think not only do we have a lot of good stories that I would like them to come out, but I also feel like we have our own niche. So if we have a strong products, we could go the same way that, you know, Bollywood is sort of like they have their own market, they have their own films that appeal to their own sort of demographic, and their quality. The quality is high. So I hope Africa can go that route, having like really powerful stories and powerful production, and sort of carve the market out for itself, because we have the numbers. We have people in diaspora, we have people in Africa, we have people who are hungry for a product to do with Africa. So we just need, I hope the African cinema can deliver that and satisfy that niche.
Do you know about Nollywood?
Yes.
You know about it?
Yeah, of
Have you
course.
seen any movies?
Yeah, I've seen a couple. In Tanzania also we watch
Nollywood.
we'll watch Nollywood films. Yeah, I would like, I think they have the market, and I think if
They
the
do,
product
yes.
improves,
Yes,
I think it has potential.
It's growing. It's
Yeah.
growing. You know,
Yeah,
so,
it's growing in numbers. All we need right now is just to give it the right products
definitely.
that can capture the rest of Africa.
So this movie that you came to premiere over here, Going Bomba, if you don't mind, how much was the budget?
The budget is
You don't mind
probably
telling us?
no. The budget is probably the price of craft services on a Superman set. It's not.
So
Yeah, so it's about 200. I have to convert to pounds. My pound.
You
Let's
can say in
say
dollars. Is it in dollars?
It's okay. Let's say about 150,000 pounds. Let's say about
Wow.
that. Yeah.
That was a lot of money.
Well, something like Spider-Man costs 150 million pounds.
So what do you?
It's 1% of, no, less than 1% of Spider-Man.
Well, I don't know how much Spider-Man costs. How much did it
150.
cost?
I think it's about 150 million pounds.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. That's lots of money. Well, I can't wait to see this movie anyway. So, what would you, what sort of budget do you feel is enough to do like a really good movie, like for us African people?
I think it depends on the story. You see, like I shot in LA and I shot in Africa, so that made it more expensive. If you're gonna have cars chasing scenes and explosions, you can blow your budget on the first couple of scenes. But like, so it depends on the story really. There's different budgets for different. But if it's just a story about the family story, about family struggles, and maybe just have interior shots, I think you can do a really good film. Or I can't really say. It really depends on many factors. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard
but
to say. Yeah.
At least around 70,000 pounds.
To do a very good, decent movie.
Yeah, I think it can be done at that. But don't quote me on that.
Well, yeah. Do you have any other project coming up that we should know about?
Yeah, I should be shooting a movie end of next month in Paris about young people from Africa who are trying to make it in Paris, and it's going to be directed by Anthony Zetto, who also directed a Jackie Chan film called Jackie Chan Presents Wushu.
Okay.
It's called From Freetown. It's about young people coming from Sierra Leone to make it in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah. Another project that I'm currently writing, is about a football player who is basically about to go pro, and then something happens, and then his life is turned upside down. And then I'm hoping to get collaborators to turn Going Bongo into a TV series, maybe.
Oh wow.
That's also a potential
That
project.
would be amazing.
Yeah. So those. And those are the three projects that are sort of solid. Of course, there are other projects that I get all the time, but I haven't
Those are
agreed
the
to
ones
anything.
that are coming up
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to anybody out there, any young man, African young man that wanna follow your footpath to be like producer or actor? What advice would you give them?
I think the biggest advice that I can give people is that whatever you choose to do, whether it's acting or writing or sound or editing, you gotta love it, because there's a lot of work involved. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's not like, oh, I work for a few hours then I go home and drink a beer. You could be working 24 hours a day for like a long time and still not see the fruits of your labor. So if you don't love it, you're gonna be very frustrated.
It's true.
I see a lot of young people getting in this business thinking that, I want to be on the red carpet and I want to be. So you have to remember, to have a red carpet, you have to go through years of making something. So it's
that's true.
So and if you always live for that, you're gonna have a very miserable
That's
life,
right.
and life is short.
Yes.
So if you do it because you love it. Don't do it because you think there's money or fame. There are way easier ways to make money and to be famous
It's true.
than filmmaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're just looking at the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah.
And they want it now, right now.
Right.
And they don't want to go through the struggle, through the
Yeah.
challenges, and
Right,
all of
right,
those things.
right.
So people who couldn't make it yesterday
Yeah.
at your premiere, what would you tell them to come and see the movie
I would tell them that it's.
in July?
I would tell them that people who did come out really loved it, and I think they would like the film. I think it's a film that will speak to them, it will speak to their heart, and I would like them to come out and support it and tell their friends about it once they see it, because we need to support African cinema.
Definitely. Well, that's all we have today with Ernest Napoleon. He's here to promote his new movie called Going Bonko. So it's going to be premiere in July across London. So come and support the African movie. Come and support African arts. He's going to be here. Are you going to be here in July?
I think so, yeah.
Think so?
I would love to. I don't know if they're going to let me in the country.
Well, of course they will. You have to be here. I'm sure a lot of fans would love to come and meet you on the red carpet.
Yeah.
So we're all gonna be there. So make sure you come and support the African art, and make sure you don't miss this wonderful movie called. See you again on 101 with me, Poshti. Good night.